the president lives in a big house, closeted somewhere in Abuja, so he's being shielded from the reality. And our job is to tell him the reality, now that he still has about 2 years to try to make an amend. The economy has not turned a corner. The president is standing on the wrong side of the road, so he's blindsided. He's not able to see where the economy is. He's done a few reforms, but those things are winking in the dark, which the Nigerian people cannot see, because in the area where macroeconomics intersect with the microeconomics of people and of firms and families, is done nothing. So it's the equivalent of someone who spends so much money to buy a generator but has not turned on the generator, or turns on the generator but has not connected the electricity to the people. You cannot tell them, oh, I spend 90 billion on generator. They say we cannot see the light. Why do I say so? One, the indicator regarding inflation is very poor. There has been a downward trend in inflation at about 20.1% or 20.9%. However, if you look at it, it's because they have rebased the calculation, the indicators.
But even the indicators that have been rebased is reflective in the retail markets today. Prices of commodities, of goods are coming down.
No, if you look at it, if you put a basket together, you will see that, for example, there is a temporary reprieve in the area of food inflation. But if you look at it, it's because it's a seasonal thing. Secondly, even when it comes down, it hasn't come down to meet the living wages of the people. So if you say, for example, you had a bag of rice for 120,000 naira, if it comes down to 80,000, yeah, it has come down, but it hasn't reached a level where someone who earns 70,000 a month can afford it.
Well, the question is, what does somebody who earns 70,000 a month need a bag of rice for?
Yeah, well, so maybe we eat a bag of sand, because now Tinubu is president. But the rice should not be a luxury. What is happening is that the president has not invested in the people. He's not invested in the areas that can affect the people, like agriculture. He's not invested in infrastructure. If you travel around the country the way I do, they put signboards everywhere and take photos, but you'll see potholes everywhere. He's not affected employment. I come from large families, and I know many other people have friends and families. When last did you hear somebody say, oh, I got a new job? So, and if you look at the people who have employment already, their living wages or their income is not able to pay even the most basic living expenses that they have. Then he hasn't dealt with anything that has to do with growing the GDP. It's still growing at a very, very slow pace that is not even matching population growth. If you look at competitiveness in the sub-region, for example, where we are the dominant economy in West Africa, it's not able to, we are the 9th weakest currency. I'm not talking of the dinars and dirhams of Morocco and Tunisia and all of that. I'm saying Gambian Dalasi, the Ghanaian cedi, and currencies of actually structurally weak economies. We're not able to compete with them. And the reason why we can't do that is because of the inflationary spending by the government. So what is happening is that President Tinubu is an accountant. He's sitting down in the villa, and his subordinates are cooking figures for him. And when he compares the two figures, like an auditor, he's spending his life as an auditor. So he looks at the figures, okay, this is better than this. But neither this nor that is relevant to the person who's on the street, because clearly what you call an economy, from the point of view of an ordinary person, is that when you have low skill, semi-skill, or fully skilled career, you want a job. When you need a house to stay and you want to pay for that house, you want to make sure that not more than 20% of your income goes into housing. Look at transportation costs. If you want to go to work, or you want to pay your workers to come to work. If you look at the ability to save, we don't have that. Access to credit, we are still at 27% interest rate. And necessarily the CBN has to be at 27% interest rate, because they are dealing with 20-something% paper inflation, which is higher in reality. So this conundrum does not allow the president to be able to address the need of the people. So he cannot tell the youth of Ibadan now that, oh, congratulations, you have a new Olubadan. But in the next 1 year, I'm going to employ 10% more of Ibadan youths. He's not saying any of that. He's asking them to increase their patience by 50%. And he's making promises that look more like religious statements. You know, like I grew up with people telling me Jesus is coming back, endure, things like that. But when you're only a government, you don't have an eternity like Christianity. You have like 2 years more. After 2 years, President Tinubu will not be president again. So in that kind of situation, what does he want to do with the next 2 years?
I want to quickly,
issues?
sorry to cut in here. Yes. I want to bring you to the agricultural renaissance that President Tinubu launched a couple of months ago, with 2,000 trucks and over 100 billion naira or so, you know, for farmers and MSMEs. And that seems to be taking root. That's why the National Bureau of Statistics gave, you know, an increase in the nation's GDP, falling inflation, and increase in of falling commodity prices in the market, so which translates to increase in the purchasing power of the people.
No, you see, these are too marginal. They are too contestable.
He has said it's gradual. The last 2 years, it's a reform. Okay. It's a process that his government is going through.
There are alternative plans. If you look at, you were well fast in international economics. When the Workers' Party go to Brazil, they look at the environment. They know they have 4 years to go. They came with the Bolsa Familia, and in 2 years, in the 4 years, they've reduced poverty by 78%. What President Tinubu is doing will work if he's going to be a live president. And everybody is going to be doing dry fasting, waiting for him for 25 years. There's no such room. When you are in a situation like this, you dump this program they are following. You're now going to core economic programs. Now, for example, you look at the amount of money they said they spend on this agricultural renaissance. The renaissance failed in 3 areas. One, it does not resonate with security, where farmers have access to farmlands. It does not resonate with providing credit input, where if I start a farm, I can get tractors, I can get fertilizers, I can get seedlings. It does not resonate with having a compulsory or guaranteed buyback, where if I produce maize, the maize is going to be purchased by the government or by some insurance policy if I'm not able to sell it competitively in the market. That's
where you have the strategic reserve or silos and the rest.
Exactly. Now, it doesn't have infrastructure, where if I produce, I'm a rice farmer, for example. I farm rice in Adamawa State, I farm in Taraba. I have not seen Tinubu or any of these people coming to assist me in any way. They don't give me rice paddy. I know how much I spent this year on rice paddy. And when I produce my rice, to transport my rice from Adamawa, Mayobalua in Adamawa to Lagos, it costs me more than somebody bringing rice from Thailand. So they haven't addressed any of these issues. And I am saying that time is going. President Tinubu is not a live president. He's a man elected for 4 years who has essentially spent 2 years in the dressing room. When you are going with a fine lady to a party, and the party starts at 1 o'clock, and by 7 p.m. the lady is still making her eyelashes in the studio. That is what President Tinubu is doing. What he should have known before coming into government is what he's trying to know now, and the time is running out. And he's going to tell us to follow him for another 4 years, and I can tell you he's going to double poverty again, and that's going to make us the poverty capital of the world. The money he's spending to try to give the economy some fillip, he's not able to give the economy some fillip because the money is circulating just around the villa and just around the federal secretariat. So they are circulating money among politicians and civil servants and their friends who have a few companies around them. They are not taking the money to where the people are. For example, if you started universities today are being disaccredited because they don't have enough academic staff. So if you do massive recruitment of academic staff, with the money you are collecting now, additional money from taxation, people will get work. Those people, because they are earning low wages, they will spend that money. So that money will create some activity in the economy. If you put money on infrastructure, I will plug my investment to the infrastructure, GDP will rise. Because if President Tinubu cannot stand and say, I'm going to give you 9% growth, like Ethiopia is doing, with less resources than us, just basically by building dams and other infrastructure, investing in state enterprises, expanding their airlines, do tourism, do so many other things. He doesn't want to do any big business. He just wants to sit down in the villa with his friend, using a laptop to cook numbers, and come out occasionally when they are coordinating things. Later he comes out.
I'm very sure.
Talk about the
you listen to this video, that is it. That is Prince Adewale, former SDP presidential candidate in 2023, presidential candidate 2023. You see everything he said, and he gave a lot of examples to tell you that where Tinubu has got it wrong, what he's doing, what he's not doing, what is working, what is not working. You see, there is no other ways to explain Tinubu's economic reforms, that he claimed that the reforms is working, that things are getting better. There's no other way to say to you, to Nigerians, that things are getting worse. It's worse off, and the government has failed, administration has failed. And the only thing is, yes, we know that this government has failed. We are all in search of a solution, looking for a solution, alternative, a way out, is what we are all saying now, not complaining and lamenting. Is the solution is 2027 presidential election to get it right and send this government out of office and come and somebody who is going to take the mantle of that leadership to start changing things. So who is that person? Who is that person? How do you get this person? How do you send this person out of Aso Rock so that another person takes over to start changing things? That's the major problem now. That's the solution we are all looking for. INEC, electoral reforms. And how do you get these electoral reforms? Get these people to sign these electoral reforms. That's the problem, isn't it? This man cited a lot of examples to you so that you understand. It gives a lot of instances. And like the journalist asking, saying that he said something that if you are a salary earner, 70,000 minimum wage, what concerns you with a bag of rice? That's what he said. It because of the failed economy, failed government, failed system. That's why you said that. That somebody who is receiving 70,000 salary, he does not need a bag of rice. Do you understand? So if you are earning 70,000 naira and that same bag of rice is being sold 10,000 naira, you can buy it, isn't it? You can buy. But a situation whereby the bag of rice is more expensive than your minimum wage, your monthly salary. So what do you say? They are not telling you, reducing you to a peanut, to buying of a sachet or a derricks of rice. That's what they have subjected you to. Do you understand? This man gave a lot of examples that this is the problem. And Tinubu, he does not look like somebody who is listening, who is ready to change. No, he does not. After all, he's not on social media, he said. He doesn't care about what people are saying. He doesn't care about the suffering, the hardship. That's what he said. That there's no other way around it, rather than you keep on telling you to be patient, to be patient. They are working. That's the only thing he promises they are giving you, but they're not telling you how they are doing it. And this is what they are doing is working, but he's just working. Be patient every time. This man also said something. You were in Ekiti State, the Ekiti State, or your installation of the Imperial Majesty Olu Ibadan, the 44 installation of Olu Ibadan Rashidi Ladoja. He said Nigeria should be patient. That's what he keep on saying, repeating. Nigeria should be patient. When Nigeria should be patient, but he did not promise those people, don't worry. Why I am asking you to be patient. This is what we are doing in this region that is going to empower, or that is going to give employment to 10 million people in this state or in this region. No, but just be patient. Why did I borrow this system? 2 years till this time, it's the same thing. Promises they are telling you, isn't it? That's the sign of failure. Now you talk about the how many millions this, that, agriculture. See, those things that Tinubu said that day when Belarus, that he acquired, or they have purchased, or they want to purchase this equipment from Belarus, from that Tinubu's schoolmate, according to him. Up to today, all those things, they are still there. They have not been, they are not in use. Do you understand? They are not in use. It means that agriculture is not going on. Nothing is going on. But the people, individuals doing their own farming, they can't afford to buy this equipment. Again, they are more expensive, and government is not helping. Government is not giving any material things to them, or in a cheaper way selling for them, or giving them a credit for this. So the one government said, go and check. They are still there. They are not being in use. They are not in use. They are not in use. Go and check. It means that from government side, agriculture, even if things is going on, but it's not enough. It's not enough. That's the problem, isn't it? And in fact, there's no even everybody. That is what I'm saying. That you and I know already that the government has failed. The system has failed, right? So anybody, they not have all these APC members, they not have all these propagandists online spreading false rumors about Tinubu's government is doing, the Tinubu are done, the Tinubu are done that. Everything they are telling you, there is no data to back it up. And if they say, go and verify, there is no verifiable website you can track, or you can verify all those things, that this is what they are doing. But you don't even need to verify all those things. It's what you can see is day-to-day living, the lives of Nigerians, the lives of people living around you. That's it. There's no, you don't need to go too far to check. And now our currency has been ranked in Africa according to Forbes. Now in Africa, not the world, not currency in the world, Nigerian Naira has been ranked among the weakest currency in Africa, aside from those small Africa countries that you can't even use that one to compare Nigerians. So if you are even talking about Ghana pastors, see our neighbor, these are our neighboring countries, their economy is doing better than us. So our own currency under Tinubu's government has been ranked, according to Forbes, has been ranked one of the weakest currency in Africa. I think Nigeria is not number 9 among them. So that shows at the rate of 1,000, I think at the rate of 1,500 now, or 1,490, something like that. So that shows that the government has failed. The economy is collapsing. Our Naira is nothing to write home about. It's useless as we speak. Do you understand? So what are the solutions? Solution is, we're talking about 2027. Get everything right. 2027 electoral reform, and if you people are talking about Nepal in Nigeria, and revolution, a regional system of government, vote power, so that regional, all those things are solutions. But according to the constitutions, people, are they talking about it? Is it possible now to just do all those things now? No, those ones is going to take time. The one that we can see now that it's possible that is free and fair election in 2027. Collectively, everybody needs to come together on that day, go get your PVC, vote, and ready to defend your vote. Show interest that you are interested to change the narrative. Do you understand? So waiting for this government is like, you are waiting for a pregnant woman. You don't know when she's going to deliver, when she's going to give birth. And Tinubu, that must say, explain everything already. You can see. So there is no hope, because a pregnant woman, sometimes even if they say that the delivery date, it might not deliver at that day, that time. Anyways, there's nothing to say but to be patient according to them. Patient and wait till 2027 and see what is going to, and see how we are going to add this government, how we're going to send this government back home, so that at least for once Nigeria can have peace again. Anyways, what do you think? Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Be your guy, run out for me now.